Ingrid, știi că îți văd numai jumătate de corp, da?
Okay. Okay.
Do you guys by any chance see our full bodies or just like half of us?
No, we see full bodies.
Oh, okay, great. Okay.
Okay, so boys and girls, we are very excited on the Israeli side as well. My name is Aviv, and I'm leading this initiative in Israel and in Romania and India to bring students from all over the world together to study through this technology called metaverse. Okay, I hope you are excited as me. We thought of 2 rounds. The first would be a round of introduction. Each one of you will say something about themselves, their age, hobbies, whatever you want, and then we'll speak a little bit about your trip to Poland and the Holocaust and the meaning of the Holocaust for teenagers around the world. Liat, do you want to say something? Some opening remarks?
Yeah, first of all, we are very excited. This is all very new to us, and we're very happy to have this opportunity. And I think, we can start. And for sure, about the Holocaust, I think as we are it's our first meeting, we'll introduce something maybe about what it means to us and have a short discussion about that. But let's start with the introduction.
Okay, let's do it. Ladies right. First. We'll have a round starting with Ingrid.
Clockwise.
Hi, I'm Ingrid. I'm 17 and I study at Lauderut at Mathematics Informatics. And I love to draw.
And you study Hebrew?
And I study Hebrew, of course, as my colleagues Sophia and Maria.
Great.
So I'm Sophie, and I'm at the humanities class, so not the same class as Ingrid and Maria, but I'm great friends with them. And I like singing and writing and debating, and our high school also offers like diplomacy and business. So we do a bit of everything.
Hi, Maria. I'm 16. I'm in Mathematics Informatics in the same class as Ingrid, and I like playing guitar and listening to different kinds of music and going to concerts in general.
Great.
I'm Liat, and I'm preparing the students to go to the March of Living to Poland. We're working for half a year for that. And I also teach Hebrew in our school and theater.
Great. Israeli boys. Dolev, do you want to start?
I'll start.
Daniel.
My name is Daniel. I'm 16. I learn in Mayan Shachar High School. And I like to volunteer in MADA, which is like the official EMS service of Israel. I also like to play guitar and do how do you call it? Gym, like physical
exercise.
Training, yeah, exercise. I like to exercise.
Great, thank you, Daniel.
Wonderful. Great. So gym, and also you are in MADA, which means you see a lot of challenging situations when people are in MADA, in Israel, when people are having issues, health.
Yeah, I volunteer in ambulances. I'm part of the crew.
Yeah, it's giving first aid as a paramedic. Dylan, Dolev, who wants to carry on from here?
I'll go.
Yes.
Hey everyone, my name is Dolev. I am 14 years old. I like to dance. I do break dancing. And I'm very excited to meet you all, and I'm very interested in your recent trip to Poland and would love to discuss about it more.
Wonderful, Dolev. Thank you.
Thank you, Dolev. Dylan?
Hi, my name is Dylan. I'm also 14 years old. I'm in the same classroom as Dolev. I love very much to do boxing and physical activities, mostly running. That's it.
Great. Leah, the floor is yours to start discussing your experience.
I think before we dive into the Holocaust issue, maybe you want to ask something, your colleagues here, about what they do, about MADA, about the sport, about anything that you've heard. Something that was interesting for you, or maybe something that you do the same.
I want to ask about Mada. So how did you get into that?
When I was 14, my teachers just sent a message that there is a last chance to get into a course called the course 30. 30 course, it's 30 hours that you learn the pre-course, that is the actual course to get into volunteering in the ambulances. So I did that. I passed. Then I needed some like personal interviews. I did some rounds of interviews. Then I got into a year-long course that taught me first aid, like identifying heart attacks, strokes, giving treatment. And now I volunteer on the ambulances and mobile intensive care units. I work with paramedics, EMTs, sometimes even doctors.
Wow,
Well, that's
so
really
cool.
amazing.
So cool. And I think that's something cultural you can also learn about the Israelis, teenagers, that they are a lot in volunteering. Also with the fire warriors, מכבי אש, and many, many
Firefighters, yeah.
things.
I have friends that
Yeah.
are volunteering as firefighters, and they're actual firefighters. They fight fires.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. In Israel, it's very common. The teenagers are volunteering for the society, for the community, and serious stuff. True. Wonderful, Daniel. And I heard something about boxing here.
Yeah, I do boxing. I enjoy it. I don't like getting hit, but I found it relaxing and very good for mental health.
Wow.
That's great.
Nice. Anything you want to ask one another about the life in Romania or the life in
Who
Israel?
says she plays guitar?
Yeah, I do.
What do you
Yeah,
play?
Maria plays
like
guitar.
electric, acoustic, what
Electric.
songs?
Usually
Electric?
electric. Yeah.
What guitar do you have?
So I have a Fender Squier and a Harley Benton at home.
And what songs do you play?
Usually more on the rock side, I guess. I don't know, like My Chemical Romance, 3 Days Grace, Alice in Chains. I don't know.
Very cool. I'm a jazz
Thanks.
guitarist.
Cool.
Really? I love jazz.
I play Wes Montgomery, Art Blakey, George Benson, Roy Hargrove, all of the pack.
Wow.
Liat, I think we can leave them here and go discuss
go.
the Holocaust in another
But
class.
the jazz part's really cool for me also. I love jazz also. Wonderful. And one more thing about if we are in jazz, we have here two actors also, Ingrid and Maria both, were last year community theater actors, and they made a show with another 12 colleagues and translated to Yiddish. It was about
Yeah.
Jewish culture, and it was part of an international European Union project. And so we have here musicians and actors and sports people, so
Do you
interesting.
go to competitions or do you do it for fun?
Right now I do it for fun, and I'm also kind of new. Like I need my how do I say it? My team where I go to do practices. They don't allow anyone to go to tournaments until they have at least 1.5 years of knowledge.
Experience, yeah.
Experience, yeah, and I'm only like half a year, like maybe a bit more, and I'm planning to do some tournaments maybe in the future, but right now I can't,
Oh, that's great.
and I want to get more experience.
Wonderful. Okay, so because I would spend the whole meeting just to hear and see, but because our time is limited, we did want to touch also a heavy subject about the Holocaust, I suggest we take it from kind of more light side, even if you can't treat it as light, you know. But for the first meeting, we're not going to go very deep into it, but we understand that you as a group here are going to Poland. Is that true? I mean, that's true, but how come? What can you tell us about it?
Yes, yes, the Israeli side. Tell them about the idea of Israeli students going to Poland. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Daniel?
So I don't actually know a lot about it, but I do know, like in 11th grade and 12th grade, we go as part of school to, it's called Masala Polin, Poland journey, Poland journey, and like we fly as a class and we go and to Auschwitz and all the concentration camps, and we have like lessons about it, and it's really an experience that most students have.
Wow. Are you all going, or is it only a
I don't know
delegation?
yet.
So
Whoever wants to,
me
it
and
can
Dolev,
go.
okay. So me and Dolev, like for Daniel, it's I think next year
Yeah,
or
next
two
year.
more years. But me and Dolev still have 3 more years before we actually get the chance to fly to Poland on the school side. So we don't really know a lot about what is going to be there. We just know we're going to, like Daniel said, go to concentration camps and to Auschwitz.
Well, while we actually do not know a lot about it, my sister went there a few months ago, and from what she told me, I get it that it's like a very emotional and interesting journey that the whole class is going through, whoever wants to. And she told me that it taught her a lot about our history, which is important to not forget about. And they did visit the places like the concentration camps and places like that, and saw a lot of things from the past that really impacts them. And she told me that they puts a lot of things into perspective, that only about like 80 years ago all of that happened. And she told me like for from her point of view it was really worth the trip. So I'm personally convinced that I want to go as well.
That's
Totally.
great. It's really worth it.
So our group here were there, and they had half-year preparation, and they went there. So if it's something you're considering, you can also feel free to ask something if you wanna
Yeah.
ask.
Definitely.
Maybe about what what it gave them for life, what they learned, something, anything. Or if not, they can share from their own
We can share
I had a
first.
question
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to,
sure,
and
sure.
then figured
Maybe
out
you have
how
a
to unmute. In Israel, I know we meet with the Holocaust survivors. If there are any left, like there are a few left, but I know we do meet them before and during the trip. Did you meet any during the trip?
Holocaust survivors. Did you meet? We met before.
We met
Yeah, we
before
met
the
before.
trip.
Yeah.
We
Before we
met
left.
also.
to
Actually, we also met in the trip when we were in the March
in
of
the
Living.
march,
Yeah.
right. So to speak about the march, which we did in our second to last day, if I remember correctly, in Poland, we marched with thousands and thousands of other students around our age from countries from all over the world. And along on the march with us were also Holocaust survivors. So that was a really impactful experience just to march for about, we probably spent 2 hours walking through with thousands of other students, and that was really impactful.
But did you have a chance to speak with them in person?
In person, no. We didn't speak to them because we were obviously, it was very crowded, and
Yeah.
then it was pretty much impossible to get a chance to speak to them. Plus, they were highly protected by all sorts of security. And each group actually marching, they had a secure bodyguard. Like our group personally had a bodyguard, and I know that other groups also had a bodyguard. for extra safety.
And during the 6 months of preparations, did you have a chance to meet Holocaust survivors in person?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Like at our school, we get opportunity to meet Holocaust survivors every year.
And how was it?
Can you tell something about Autofulo?
Yeah, so we were at a ceremony and we got to talk to Otto Fulop and ask him questions, and he talked about his experience in the Holocaust and how he survived and how he got to live on. And that was really interesting because we got to see his point of view, because it's very important to learn from people that were actually there. Yeah.
And we watched several documentaries about Holocaust survivors that our teacher Liat, she put on for us during our months of preparation.
And we also learned about the history, not only about the survivors, so we could understand it all.
Do you have friends? Do you have friends that you think never heard any testimony about the Holocaust? I'll tell you why I'm asking. I'm asking because socially, I think the metaverse, this technology, the metaverse technology, is a very powerful tool to make, let's say, sensitive subjects very, very accessible. 2 months ago in Israel, when we have in Israel a memorial day for the Holocaust every year, I got to understand that lots of people in Israel, 20% of the population is an Arab population. The Arab population in Israel, they don't speak about the Holocaust. And I find it very interesting because I don't think you can actually understand the idea of the state of Israel without understanding the Holocaust. It's one of the main reasons for the establishment of the state of Israel. And we brought,
that's very true.
We brought.
Aviv, in our school, we study in different ages through the developmental stage of the children.
I've known from when I was little about the Holocaust because that was what I was taught. But my friends from outside of school, most of them have heard about it but are not familiar to it.
And definitely not testimonies.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say that friends of mine from outside of school.
I just wanted to say another sentence about the use of metaverse technology to make the idea of the Holocaust more accessible to others. So what we did 2 months ago, we took a photo album of a Holocaust survivor and we turned a photo album into a world, a virtual world. And when you do it on the metaverse, one of the most touching moments in the last year of dealing with the metaverse was that Arabs in Israel that were never familiar with the idea of the Holocaust and never met a Holocaust survivor, through the metaverse, it made it more accessible to them because they sat in their homes wearing the headset and they entered this virtual world, and it was very touching to see Arabs in Israel that for the first time at the age of 40 and 50 had the chance to hear about the Holocaust from a Holocaust survivor. Because, Jews in Israel, and I guess Jews all over the world, they are more accessible and more familiar with the topic. But I think that this technology can make it more accessible to others, like people in Romania that never had the chance to hear.
Definitely.
This is just an idea that I think you can adopt also in Romania and ask your friends that are not Jewish to be more familiar with the topic.
I think that's one of the things we learned at the March of the Living, that we should learn their stories and pass them on. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for us, 11th graders in Romania, everybody needs to learn about the Holocaust.
It's like implemented in the
curriculum.
And I do suggest that maybe with the timing we have, you can share a little bit about what touched your heart during the journey, or something meaningful to you. anything?
I
I have a
you can
question
ask
for you
yeah,
guys.
I also want to
yeah.
have
I have
a
one
question
question.
for a long time.
Good.
I know in Europe, I don't know which countries exactly, but I know some countries joined the Nazis and cooperated with them. How is it like treated as in your national education system? How do you treat the fact that some people did cooperate with the Nazis? I have like friends in Germany, and I didn't really understand how they learn about the Holocaust. I just know they learn like Germany was very, very bad, and that's it.
Oh, well, I think at our school at least we are pretty open about what happened in the Holocaust and how
Very open.
very open how Romania acted, and we are taught that it was wrong and that we acted wrongfully, let's say, and also
Of,
yeah, well,
of course, I mean, there's going to be a national perspective for
yeah,
every country that was implied and that battled through this, but at the same time, we are in the 21st century now, and we take it from the exterior perspective. So we learn, and what is negative, of course, the whole situation is in a very negative space, but we learn the facts, the history, and what March of the Living actually did for us was also bring us into the experience, and that was what was
Yeah.
most impactful.
because you can learn something, but it's a whole different thing to actually experience it and be there. Yeah.
Tolev, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Um, what would you say was the most interesting or important thing in the journey to Poland?
The stories, I think. Our guide told us a lot of stories about Holocaust survivors and about people that didn't survive in the Holocaust. And I think that impacted me a lot because I had to imagine what they were going through and put myself in those situations which I could not imagine right now going through. Yeah, I think that's it.
Because I agree with you, like the stories were definitely the most impactful, because in school you learn about the numbers, you learn about the places, but you don't learn about the stories of individuals that were there, and that's what really hits close to home.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially about family. I mean, all the stories about younger siblings or
Yeah.
parents and being separated and torn apart from one another, that was probably the most impactful for me personally and for a lot of my friends as well.
And also the different perspective you get from the March of the Living, because we went to Auschwitz a day before the march, and it was really depressing. I think I cried 3 times. But then the next day we were marching with a lot of people, and there was a whole different perspective. Like we were thanking, we were happy that some survived instead of being sad that millions were killed. It was like a combination of those two.
Right. It was, I mean, the day previous to the March of the Living, it was all about death. It was
Yes.
all about sorrow and about pain. But coming together, thousands and 1000s the following day,
And celebrating
that was
life, basically.
about life and uplifting life. And that was really, really important for the whole overall of the trip.
Great. So you recommend the guys to go through this journey to Poland?
Definitely,
So
yeah.
100%.
It's emotional and maybe hard to process at first, but I think you get in touch, at least for you, get in touch with your roots and get to understand it better, because it's different when it's taught in school and when you actually go there and see the buildings that just were held in and tortured and everything. Yeah.
I think probably everyone should have this experience once in their life.
Yes.
No matter who you are, no matter where you are from, you have to have this experience.
Leah, do you mind
Definitely,
if
because
I'll... Excuse me, yes, Maria.
Yeah, Maria?
Sorry. No, I want to say that it's definitely life-changing. You perhaps don't believe it when somebody else tells you. You have to be there and see it in order to understand what actually happened.
Liat, if you don't mind, because our time is very limited, I want to ask the girls and Daniel, how is it like to learn through the metaverse, to sit around the fire in the woods with Israeli students that are on the other side of the ocean And Daniel, how is it for you? It's first time for you as well. So if you can just say in few sentences, how do you feel now? Is it different or the same than studying in a classroom?
I feel this really brings us so much closer together. And I feel like I can be so totally open with everyone around me here just because there's just a feeling of connection.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a wonderful feedback.
It's not actually my first time. I did in 12th grade studied with children in Georgia, but it was not in VR. It was just like Zoom. Because when I was in 12th grade, no, not 12th, sorry, 6th grade, not 12th, 6th grade. So it was 2020, so 2021, so the middle of COVID. So our teachers thought it would be cool to join students from Georgia and Israel, not Georgia the state, Georgia the country in Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Central
Georgia the
Eastern
state.
Europe. Yeah. So it's not actually my first time, but the VR, I think, really connects like us more. Especially with I feel we are in the same room, although we are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I still haven't gotten the controls yet, so it's sort of
Yeah, me
hard
neither.
for me.
I
It's
have
like
this tablet
not
next
my
to me.
body.
I have no
It's
idea how to
it's
close it.
it's not in the
Definitely.
technology level that I feel I'm in the room. It's just see the room, but I'm still know I'm in on a computer.
Yeah,
Right.
I've had the opportunity to also talk to people from Israel on a Zoom call, and it's completely different to be in a VR set and everything because you can actually gesticulate and explain better, and it's like brings us together, I think.
Great, Liat, do you want to say something? It's your
No,
first
Liat, I think-
experience.
They can't hear you.
Like this.
Liat?
Okay, since we've, Aviv, if you don't mind, since we've been talking about the Holocaust, it's very important for me always that we are also connected to places we can grow from. And I wanted to ask the girls, was there something, what made you stronger from the whole experience? Can you think of something?
So I would say that being together with people I love around me while being surrounded at the same time by the atrocities, when we visited Auschwitz, when we visited Birkenau, when we visited Treblinka, it was so emotional, so touching. I mean, there's nothing that could have, in that moment, in that experience, really processing it completely came from those around me. But at the end of the day, sorry, just one more thing, Ingrid, before you go on, because I know you want to say too. When you enter those grounds, no matter how many people you are with, you go through the experience together. But processing it after, that
have to do
happens
it
with
alone.
those around you.
Yeah, that's also true, like having our friends around us and also Liat and everyone who supported us. That helped me a lot to understand what happened. But also, Liat actually made our parents write us some letters that we didn't know anything about. And she made us open them after we went to Auschwitz. And that really helped me because I got the support not only from my friends who were next to me, but also from my family who was very far from me. That made me really powerful and helped me get through the emotions that I was feeling. Yeah.
Would you say the trip and visit to Auschwitz, you say it was very emotional. Do you think it can overwhelm certain people? Like,
It
is it
can,
too much
it
for them?
can, for sure it
Yep.
can, but it takes a while to process it. For at the start, I will be sincere. At the start, I wasn't sure how I should be feeling, but then I went home and thought about it. So it's emotional, and it can be overwhelming. But it takes, for me at least, it took some time to process it all. Yeah.
Do they tell you before the visit that it's going to be very emotional?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, they
Yeah.
do. But it depends on the person. Like, you
Right.
should not be scared to not experience the March of the Living just because you think you're going to get emotional.
But you should definitely be prepared before you
Yeah.
go. I mean, the fact that we did preparations for months and months before we left was very, very important. I mean, without
Yeah.
that, we would have been not only completely uninformed, but we would have been completely like emotionally unprepared.
Yeah.
Aviv, do you want to say something?
No, it was very interesting for me. As a 17 years old, I also went on a trip. It was a very long time ago. Now I'm 51. And everything you said reminded me of my first experience going to the camps in Poland. You are amazing kids. I really like what this technology allows us to do, to come together and talk as if we are in the same place. I think it's very different than Zoom.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, Liat, I think it's your first experience on the metaverse.
Yeah.
How is it like for you as a teacher, this
It's
kind of
wonderful.
experience?
I'm already thinking what else can we do, because I think it's really wonderful. It brings us together, and I think the most important that it gives us the experience that we're all people, that we're all, we can communicate, we can talk, we can have fun together, and that's really important to know Israeli students, for Israeli students to know Romanian students. Yeah, so it's beautiful.
You
Thank
know,
you so
boys
much,
and
Aviv,
girls,
for this experience.
you're welcome. You know, the future is yours, boys and girls, Maria and Sophie and Ingrid and Dolev and Daniel and Dylan. The future is yours, not ours. You know, I just introduced you to this kind of method, to this kind of technology, but imagine that through this technology you can meet whoever you want. You can meet Nobel Prize laureates, you can meet scientists, you can meet doctors and people from all over the planet and discuss everything in any virtual world. It's amazing, and I'm at your service. If you have any idea who you want to meet and where, I'm at your service to do that, to introduce you to anyone.
Aviv, I can tell you that me and Dylan were in the VR here before, like I think about a year ago, when we met in like astronomy class. We met a famous American astronaut that came back from space, and we talked to him in like a virtual world in the. I think it was in the spaceship inside, and it showed us all the way through, and we could actually talk to him. So when you said like we can meet important people, like
Dolevia, my dear, I arranged it. His name is Eitan Stiva. He's Israeli, not American, and I arranged this session in the International Space Station. But that's exactly what I'm telling you.
oh
The
yeah, well
future,
it was really fun, and we learned a lot from that.
yeah, the future is yours. You
Wasn't
decide.
there only one Israeli astronaut, Ilan Ramon, who died?
Yes.
So how did you meet another Israeli astronaut?
Eitan Stiva is the second one and the only one living.
Oh,
But this is what I'm saying. You just have to dream who you want to meet and where, and we can arrange it. We can arrange it. I'm saying it to you, and I'm also saying it to Liat. I think that's the future of schooling all around the world.
Of course, definitely. Aviv, the girls have a lesson that starts now. We think we have to
Great. We'll wrap up. Thank you so much
for this time.
for participating, and we can keep in touch. We can keep in touch through Liat and
Definitely.
me.
We would love that.
We can definitely keep in touch, okay?
Okay.
what time zone are you in?
It's exactly the same
The
time.
same
Same
as
as
you.
Israel.
The same as you.
Same
You
as
learn
you.
past 4?
It's
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
3:15.
We're learning until 5 sometimes here.
6 maybe.
Yeah. Long schedule.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
thank
It was
you.
great meeting you all.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Wait, we don't know how to get out.
Okay.
וואו, היה מדהים.
חבל, לא היה לי הרבה שאלות.